The 7 Ps for strategic profits for tech consultants. Hi, I'm Paul Higgins. I'm going to show you what those 7 Ps are. And how do I know them? Because I've been in your shoes. I was a tech consulting business. We sold it, and now I mentor others, which I'll talk about more in a moment. So what are the problems that you're facing at the moment? It may be some of these. It may be that you're not getting enough leads in the business, which is normally the number one problem for most tech consultants. The second is you've got content gaps. You're not quite sure how you position yourself. You don't know how to write the right content, and you're not quite sure your messaging. The other one is there's scope creep in the business as well, and you're always getting pulled back into delivery all the time, and it's hard to do working on the business while you're working in the business. And there may be others, and you can add yours right now. I know there's ones that are going on in your head as I went through these, and what are those? But let's be honest, that's not the true problem, right? The true problem is that you're getting in the road of your own success. The success of your business is solely dependent upon you. Yes, you've got a team, but they need the strategic direction, and they need you to be getting new clients and converting those clients. So it's solely dependent upon you. And what I want to do is show you how we could work together, because you don't have to do it by yourself. And there's a great African proverb that says, go fast alone or go far together. And I want you to go far together. I want you to have long-term strategic profits. So who are you? You're smart, you're passionate, you're ambitious, right? So you've got all the intention in the world. All you need is some more experience, right? And you can go and learn that yourself, as I said, or you can bring it forward. And I've created a methodology that takes the best parts and applies it to you. And how have I come up with this methodology? It's been through hands-on experience. I was in corporate for 18 years, worked for Coca-Cola, worked my way from a rep to a director, so I've got a lot of that experience to share. And the next phase of my life was as a tech consultant. So as I said, I built up a tech consultancy, sold it to a Google partner in 2019. So I've been exactly in your shoes. And the last, or actually not the last, a podcast, I've interviewed some of the best tech consultants in the world to get their secrets to share it with you. And you don't have the time to do that. You're running your business, but my business is to get the knowledge and then share it with you, rather than you having to do it by yourself. And the last one is I've mentored lots of other tech consultants across multiple platforms, right? So you typically only work in the one platform. I've had a look at all of the platforms and people at different levels, so I can bring that experience to you. So it's helped me create the 7 Ps, and I'll quickly go through them. First one is planning profits. So we want to start with your ambitions, because that's the most important thing, right? And your ambitions need to be aligned, not just with your business partner if you got one, but your life partner, right? Because we want the business to match those ambitions and expectations. The next is your numbers, and we want the numbers to match that. And we do some financial modeling to make sure that you know exactly where you are. And most people are surprised at actually what their true numbers are. And then most importantly, what it takes to get to where your ambitions are. What's the team look like? Who do you need to get help in? And we can model all of that, because I've gone through people at different levels and journeys, and I know what the cost structures are and the revenue numbers we need to hit. The next is we want the right business model. Get the right business model right, and it makes all the difference in the actual sales and the execution. And finally, we want an aligned plan, like I said, not just with people within the business, also with people in your private life, so everyone is basically giving you their support, because they know exactly what you want to achieve. The next is preeminent positioning. This is the thing that I think most tech consultants miss. It's talking about the category, not the company, and not your product, right? And so often I see Salesforce partner, Salesforce certificates, name it, replace, HubSpot, whatever, right? That's not what people want to hear about. So we go through that. We also want a micro niche, right? The riches and the niches or niches. So that's what we want to do. We want to have a clear methodology. Otherwise, you're like everyone else, and otherwise you're going to be just based on price. And that's it. You don't want to be that. You want to be different. You want to have a clear methodology on how you deliver the results. And finally, you want that messaging. So when people look at your profile, they want to connect with you. When they have that first meeting with you, they've already done the research and they know that you're the best and only option for them. The next is around the packaging. You know who you're going to do it, you know how you're going to do it. Now, what are you going to do for them? So we come up with the offers, and there's an offer table that we create We look at value-based pricing. Now, we're not going to always get value-based pricing across the line, but it's the way we position your pricing to do that. We're going to look at price sensitivities, and I have not worked with one tech consultant hasn't got an increase in revenue through improving their pricing. So we'll do that, and I've got a lot of experience from corporate, but also when I ran my own tech consulting business of doing that. And we want to create some recurring revenue, right? There's ways to do it. I can show you ways to do it. Next is prolific promotion. So what channels are we going to target? So it might be LinkedIn. It's wherever your audience is. It might be YouTube, but we've got to have a top channel because people aren't just going to come to you. And typically, if you're at this stage of growth, your partner, your SaaS partner, isn't giving you leads. So you've got to go out and generate those yourself. Next is how do you talk? And we've got a brilliant way of communicating the content, right, which really talks to your ideal client, problems they've got and how you solve them. But we've got a framework that's great, and we use AI to make it really easy so you're not spending a lot of time on that, because I know for most of you it's very frustrating. The next is a killer marketing asset. So what value are we giving along to get people on your list, but also to create calls, right? Because that's you want sales conversation and calls. And then we have a list which most tech consultants don't have. They do it for other people, but they don't do it for themselves. Next is profitable conversations. So what is your go-to-market strategy? So that's particularly or predominantly going to be LinkedIn, but it could be other ways. Then how do we have those sales conversations? And, my 18 years of corporate experience at Coca-Cola, I can role play with you and make sure that you're getting higher conversions in those conversations. Also supporting you. 50% of sales is admin, so you shouldn't be doing that. So how do we get you someone that can do that for you? And then sales enablement. A lot of you are very good at this. You know all the tools, but we've also got some brilliant tools that can help you with that. Is power partnering. So like I said, your SaaS vendor probably doesn't give you a lot of opportunities. Depends on what size and what stage of growth you are. But there are some ways to get some leads from your SaaS vendor, but it's certainly not what we're going to rely upon. And if you're getting all your leads from them at the moment, that is a high-risk strategy, which we can talk about. The next is strategic partners. So who's already got your audience that you can leverage off? How do you then make sure that it's a win-win so they want to partner with you? And then finally, what is a framework that we can use to actually make these partners come to life? Because a lot of people, they talk partnership and it sounds great at the start, but then it dwindles out. We're going to make sure that it's stick and it becomes permanent. And just imagine if you're getting 6 clients a year from your strategic partners, what that would do to your revenue and profit. And the last but not least is people, right? People-centric engine. And we want to make sure that the culture is right. We want to make sure that you're recruiting the right people and you're positioning yourself well to get the best people. And I've also got multiple options in ways that even if we don't need a full-time person, how do we tap in to different resources and experts around the world, which I've collected that can help you. Team tasks. So that's, people really want clarity, right? But often when I go into a business and I look at it, people aren't clear on what they should do. Yes, they're clear around often the development side, but the business side of it, they're not. And finally, having the right systems in place. Like, once again, you're probably an expert at this, but not all. And what we can do is help. So ultimately what we want to do is leverage, right? We want to take what you've already got. So we look at all of those 7 components and the 4. So there's 28 in total. And what you've already got, we take and leverage that. But what's missing is what we plug the gaps on. And finally, what I want to do is introduce you to my team that can go and implement it. Because there's nothing worse than someone, you're sitting in we have an hour meeting and then you've got a laundry list of stuff on top of all the stuff you've already got. You don't get it done. That's where my team can either implement it or my team can work with your team to implement it. So why is this important? Because of this quote: compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it. Who was it? Yeah, Albert Einstein. Pretty smart guy. But it is like the biggest opportunity cost is your time, right? And like I said, by you doing it by yourself, you can get in the road of your success. And once you compound that success, compound that profit, then that more profit allows you to scale faster and live better. And whatever that version of live better is for you, and I can't wait to understand that. So just book the call at talkpaul.com. and let's see how I can help you scale faster to live better.